Have you ever fallen for someone who turned out to be not who they seemed? Well, that's precisely what happened to me when I met Erik in a shopping mall. He seemed like the perfect guy, successful, charming, and generous. But soon, I realized he was pretending to be someone he wasn't. Watch this video to find out how I learned a valuable life lesson about love, trust, and materialism. I met Erik in the shopping mall on a sunny afternoon. He was browsing through the shelves of a shoe store, trying on a pair of sleek leather loafers. I was enjoying a stroll through the mall with my friend when my eyes landed on him. He was tall, handsome, and had a nice, muscular figure. Any girl could have been attracted to him, and I was no exception. As we walked past him, I couldn't resist turning my head to catch another glimpse of him. He noticed my gaze and looked back at me, meeting my eyes with man-like regard. I thought to myself that I had found my new boyfriend. I started talking loudly to my friend to attract his attention, hoping he would overhear our conversation. My plan worked. He saw me and started walking towards us. I could feel my heart racing in excitement as he approached us. He remarked about my Gucci bag and admired the latest fragrance from Chanel. He was charming, and I could felt more attracted to him with every passing moment. He asked me if I would like to join him for lunch, and I eagerly accepted his offer. As we sat down for lunch, I learned Erik was a successful businessman, running his own company. He talked shop and had to go, but promised to catch up with me later. He asked for my number, and I was pleased to give it to him. Dates replaced our chats. I liked making rich boyfriends and receiving expensive gifts from them, but Erik was different. He was genuine, kind, and caring. I enjoyed his company, and I found myself falling for him more and more each day. But then I started noticing some strange things about him. He drove expensive cars, but they weren't his. Later, when I dug deep, I learned he was just a driver in a well-reputed company. All the cars he drove were of his boss, and those shoes he bought at the mall, he had afforded them because his boss's wife donated money on his birthday. I was fooled. I had spent nearly $100,000 in just 3 months, thinking it would be a return investment, but I got nothing. I had trusted him blindly, and he had taken advantage of my naivety. I was devastated. I felt like a fool for falling for his lies. I had never been so wrong about someone in my life. But then I realized that it was my fault. I had been too focused on material things and had ignored my intuition. I decided to cut off all contact with Erik and move on with my life. I knew I had to change my priorities and focus on what was important. It was a hard lesson to learn, but it was a lesson I would never forget. Ultimately, I learned that true happiness comes from within, and that material things can never replace genuine love and respect. I may have lost a lot of money, but I gained a valuable life lesson that would stay with me forever.